Yo, what up, what up? It's your man, Big Brandon Carter. Today we're going to talk about, hey, is the ketogenic diet sustainable? And if so, how do you do it? Let's get into it. I've been a personal trainer and nutritionist for over 17 years. During that time, I experimented with low carb diets or ketogenic diets throughout the duration of the career, off and on. Sometimes I would just do it to get ripped for an event or a photo shoot or something like that. But about 18 months ago, I went in for a routine checkup. I was just on a regular diet, you know, if it fits your macros kind of diet. I was in good shape, just eating whatever I wanted, watching my calories and my caloric intake, watching my macros. But they said my cholesterol was sky high. They wanted to put me on cholesterol drugs. They were trying to put me on statins, and those have a lot of like potentially negative side effects. So I was like, nah, fuck that. Let me try the ketogenic diet instead, because I had been familiar with it and I knew that it was shown to actually lower cholesterol. It sounds like it shouldn't work because you're eating so much cholesterol and high fat, but it does. And that was my experience too. My cholesterol dropped over 100 points within the first month. And I've been doing the ketogenic diet ever since then, and I've been able to do it sustainably, and I'm going to show you how in this video. But before we get in there, let's talk about, is it sustainable in general? Is the ketogenic diet sustainable? Guess what, bro? Guess what, bro? Nothing's sustainable. We're all just a bunch of naked, hairless monkeys living on this rock that's rotating around the sun, okay? And one day, this sun is going to explode, and with it, it will destroy all the planets in our solar system. If there is life on other planets, other beings, they won't even fucking know it happened until about a few billion years from now, because that's how long, that's how many light years. It's basically the countdown to when all this shit is gone. This is all an elaborate fucking hoax. They want you to think that this shit is important, that something's gonna last forever, and you know what you do now even matters. Guess what, bro? Nothing is sustainable. If you were to add up all of the time the universe has been into existence and compressed it into one day, into 24 hours, the amount of time that human beings have been on Earth would have been less than half a fucking second. One day, all of this is going to be gone. Everything you love is going to be fucking gone. Everyone you love is going to die. Everything you know is going to cease to exist. But in the meantime, let's get fucking ripped. Let's get shredded. So how do you sustain the ketogenic diet? Well, first of all, who says it has to be sustainable? Maybe it's just something you do just to change things up. Maybe it's something you just do if you have a competition. What physique competitors do or bodybuilders do to get ready for a competition, that's not sustainable, nor is it intended to be. If you're getting ready for a vacation or for a wedding or something like that, you might go on like a diet, and who says you have to fucking do it forever? Maybe it's just a tool in your toolbox. Let me ask you a question. How many decisions have you made in your life that were permanent? How many times have you said, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life no matter what? How many times have you done that? Most of you have done that shit less than 5 times. A lot of you have never made a decision like that, and that's okay. Who knows what's going to happen next year, right? It's hard to project a year in advance. If you're going to do something for the rest of your life or not, it's too high of a standard to hold a fucking diet plan to. Really, to hold anything to. There's a few things that you should make permanent decisions on, all right? Like, your spouse, or maybe if you have kids. Other than those 2 things, everything in your life is pretty malleable. Having that said, let's say you wanted to do the ketogenic diet forever. I've been doing it for 18 months. And you know, I know people who've been doing it for years. Let's talk about how you can accomplish that. Studies show that the ketogenic diet is safe and effective to do long term. You have to remember that the ketogenic diet was actually developed by doctors to treat illnesses. It's not yo, it's a fad diet or it's just a fad. No, 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 no. It was developed by doctors to treat illnesses, and to this day, it is still prescribed. It's a lot more than just a diet. And some recent studies that come out, now these studies are in mice, right? So it's hard to extrapolate that to human beings, but you know, studies are always done in mice. The initial intermittent fasting studies were done in mice. It showed that the ketogenic diet increased lifespan and increased overall health for the mice. So not only is it safe, it's actually healthy. Stay tuned. There have been studies on human beings that show it's safe and effective to do long term. So how do you do it? Well, first of all, you want to make sure you're doing it right. Like a lot of people just eat a fucking bunch of butter and bacon and think they're doing keto, really. Or worse, what they do is people make the mistake, they just cut carbs and they don't increase the fat, and they end up with too much protein, which doesn't allow them to get into ketosis. You have to keep your protein levels under 20% of your total macros. Otherwise, that excess protein will convert into something called glucose, and it won't allow you to get into ketosis. If you're not in ketosis, if you just cut carbs, you will not feel good. You will not get the effects that you get from ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet is not the same as just cutting carbs. And if you want to know how to do it right, there's a link in the description of a free ebook I got for you. You know what I'm saying? If you do it right, what's going to happen is it's going to be easy to maintain. For example, one of my best students, Mark Christopher, he started using my keto program and he lost over 70 pounds in 1 month, and he was able to keep doing it for over a year, and he lost over 100 pounds.
You lost how much?
95 pounds. At first I just did low carb. I didn't understand the whole keto thing until I started seeing his videos on YouTube and started feeling better. My blood pressure got better. All my sugars went to norm. My weight's dropping off like crazy.
If you do the ketogenic diet correctly, what's going to happen is it's going to actually decrease cravings. So a lot of people say, man, I can't ever eat rice again. I can't eat rice. I can't eat fruit. I can't eat pasta. Listen, you won't want that stuff anymore. Imagine not being a slave to these foods anymore. Then it doesn't take as much discipline. It's actually not as difficult, but you have to get to that point first. I went on it just for the health benefits. I got the health benefits, but then I noticed my skin was clear. I had more energy, and I just felt better. And I was doing with the cyclical ketogenic diet, right? So this is another thing you guys can do. Initially, I did the cyclical ketogenic diet, which means 5 days a week I would do keto, 2 days a week I would eat carbs. And that's a good way, the easier way into it maybe. But what I noticed is I wasn't feeling as good on those days. I didn't have the same amount of energy. I didn't have the same vigor, the same alertness, the same cognitive function that you get from the ketogenic diet. So now I just do straight keto. I can go out and eat anywhere. I can go eat with my friends. I do it all the time, my friends and family, and I can adhere to the diet because I know what to eat and what not to eat. No one even notices that I'm doing keto, except for like Thanksgiving, when I only ate the greens. I only ate the green vegetables, some of the meat, and then, you know, I put extra butter on my shit. But other than that, man, it doesn't interfere with my life. Like, that's what a lot of people think is going to interfere with your life, and you can't be social. You just got to learn how to do it, how to integrate it into your life if it's something you want to do long term. And you can definitely do that. In fact, I have a free book. So to recap, you do not have to sustain the ketogenic diet if you don't want to. You could just do it when you want to cut. It's just a tool you can keep in your toolbox for when you want it. But if you do want to do it long term, studies show that it's safe and effective, and a lot of research is suggesting that it actually will help increase lifespan. And if you decide to go that route, like I have, like to do it long term, you want to make sure you're doing it correctly so you get the benefits. The first 2-3 weeks is going to be difficult because your body has to adjust. But once you adjust, man, you're not going to want to go back. That's been my experience, and it's been one of the best decisions I ever made. Make sure you download the book. It's free. Link in the description. It's free. And man, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button. I also have a daily vlog. I'll put a link to that in the description too. Check out my daily vlog. Love you guys. Peace.